And
we're doing what they want to do.
Yes.
I don't want to get too deep in the weeds. I trust the lady in pink.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, thank you for convening 15 minutes earlier. I got to go to Budget Burfa Conference Committee, so I wanted to make sure we voted today. Today is April 3rd, 2025. Welcome to the voting session for the Ways and Means Committee. First up, Senate Bill 131. Well, so this is what we're going to do. I'm going to call all the ones that do not have amendments. So I'm going to call Senate Bill 131, Senate Bill 178, Senate Bill 337, Senate Bill 602, Senate Bill 633, and I am going to ask to put them on a consent calendar. So is there a motion to put them? Favorable on the consent calendar. Okay. Delegate Feldmark moved favorable to put those on a consent calendar. Is there a second? Second. Okay, so is there a motion for a favorable on the consent calendar? Any discussion? Okay, Delegate Roberson?
Just a quick question. These are in the same posture as the House version, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So the motion is for a favorable on the consent calendar on 131, 178, 337, 602, 633. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, all of those move successfully out of here. Okay, Senate Bill, did you say bye? Senate Bill 259, and there are amendments. The Vice Chair.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Senate Bill 259, Election Law, Local Boards of Elections, Election Plan Requirements. The bill requires local boards of elections to submit a consolidated election plan to the State Board for approval that includes proposed early voting centers, polling places, and ballot drop box locations. The amendments require a local board of elections in the first election after redistricting to submit certain information if its polling place plan will reduce the number of polling places. It establishes procedures for public notice and comment. It requires a state administrator, Delegate Buckle, to review rather than approve ballot drop box locations, and it also includes the bipartisan amendment to ensure that we have geographic diversity at our locations as well. I move the amendments.
Okay, discussion, Delegate.
Question, we voted on, I guess, the crossfire or corollary of this bill yesterday. And the issue I raised was, did the attorney, in that bill, I thought we had said that the Attorney General retained the discretionary or the enforcement authority about the location of drop boxes, I believe it was. In this one, Madam Vice Chair, did you just say that in this version of the bill, as we're going to pass, the State Board of Elections Administrator retains that jurisdiction?
We're working to win back your vote, Delegate Buckle.
You're going to do it. You're going to do it.
And this, as a state administrator, specifically doing the review.
Okay, so it has SB doing that.
Yes.
Control rather than the Attorney General's office.
Correct.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You have a question, Delegate Long?
Yeah, the bill that Delegate Buckle's talking about, this bill will supersede that, am I correct?
Thank you, Delegate Long, for the clarification. Just to clarify, because this bill didn't leave the committee yesterday, this is a change that we are making and revoting to ensure that the state administrator does the review.
Okay, so what we voted on the floor yesterday.
In the committee, right?
Oh,
Right.
okay,
exactly.
I thought we did.
Exactly. It hadn't gone to the floor yet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, is there a motion on the bill as amended? Second. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, Senate Bill 259 passes favorably as amended. Senate Bill 550, and there are amendments. Delegate Wells.
Sorry. Thank you, Madam Chair. The bill authorizes the city to set a special property tax rate up to, the amendments conform the bill to the House cross-file, which authorize the city to impose the regular property tax rate and the existing special tax rate for vacant and abandoned property on nonprofit-owned property that is a vacant lot or improved property that is cited as vacant and unfit for habitation or other authorized use on a housing or building violation notice. Move the amendments.
Any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Yes, Delegate Fair?
Apologize. Thank you. Just to clarify, how does this build off of, last year we passed the vacancy bill for Baltimore City. Does this build off of that? And
Yes.
how does it change that?
It adds this classification under that same classification of properties.
Okay, and so it just builds it underneath the already existing?
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yep, any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill as. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Delegate Long is opposed. Senate Bill 550 passes as amended. Senate Bill 1189, and there are amendments as well. Delegate Wells.
So this, basically, the amendments do the exact same thing as what I just described for the Senate Bill 550. Move the amendments.
Any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion on the bill is amended. Discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Yep,
This give them special authority to tax nonprofits, am I correct? All right, I'm against it. Thank you.
okay, Delegate Long is opposed, and House Bill 1189 passes favorably as amended. Senate Bill 596, and there are amendments. Delegate Wells.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The amendments, one, remove the provisions relating to the county economic development tax credit.
I can't hear that well.
And two, authorize the Hagerstown multi-use sports and events facility to enter into a payment in lieu of taxes agreement with local governments. Move the amendment. Amendments.
Any discussion?
Sure.
Yeah,
I just
Delegate
wanted to
Buckle.
confirm, I know this is a really, really important issue for the Hagerstown baseball stadium, multi-use stadium. The state invested $75 million $85 million and that cannot operate really essentially without this type of property tax agreement. And it's our understanding, and I trust certainly the council for the committee, this will conform or resolve the problem between the House and Senate bills. So if we move this bill all the way through, it will ameliorate the issue that they've identified that may cause sort of the leaving of the team, and we just sunk $85 million into a hole. This resolves that based upon the Senate and the House conversation. Is that
Yes.
council and
That's
the
my
Madam Chair's
understanding.
conversation?
Yes.
That's great. I didn't want to get too deep in the weeds, but I don't live in Hagerstown, but I do care about it, as we all should, so I wanted to make sure that was out there. Thank you.
And we all had a lovely time out there. Okay, any further discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended. Discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, Senate Bill 596 passes favorably as amended. Senate Bill 845, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Madam Chair, as amended, this bill requires the State Department of Education to register each local school system in Maryland as an associate member of the National Membership Organization that provides access to Educator Identification Clearinghouse and pay any applicable fees and dues associated with the membership. Each local school system must utilize the clearinghouse through a national membership organization to screen each individual as hired for an educator position going forward. The amendments change the point at which individuals are screened from when they apply to when they are hired. Move the amendments.
Okay, is there a discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended. Discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, Senate Bill 845 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1025, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This bill is the cross-file of the bill we just heard. As amended, it will be in the same posture as Senate Bill 845. The amendments place the bill in that posture. Move the amendments.
Any discussion on the amendments? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended.
Move favorable.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1025 passes favorably as amended. Senate Bill 923, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As amended, this bill requires the State Department of Education, in consultation with MPSSAA, Maryland Public Secondary Schools Athletic Association, to develop a list of boys and girls sports that are similar. Officiating services for similar sports must receive similar pay or fees. Invitations for bids or requests for proposals of similar sports must be made within a reasonable time of each other. The amendments require Mr. E in consultation with MPSSAA to come up with that list. Additionally, the amendments apply the bill beyond the procurement context of high school sports to employees who are used within, from the school system. Move the amendments.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Senate Bill 923 passes favorably as amended. House Bill 1483, and there are amendments. Delegate Ebersol.
Again, Madam Chair, this is the cross file of the bill we just heard, Senate Bill 923, and as amended, it will be in the exact same posture as Senate Bill 923. Move the amendments.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the amendment signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, the amendment's passed. Motion on the bill is amended.
Favorable as amended.
Discussion? Okay. You want to be a me too? Yeah. Okay, if you want to be a me too, please raise your hand. Me too for Delegate Miller, Delegate Roberts, Delegate Wu. Okay, all in favor of House Bill 1483 as amended signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, House Bill 1483 passes favorably as amended. We have a couple concurrences. House Bill 258, West North Avenue Development Authority. The motion is to concur with the Senate amendments. The Senate amendments maintain the application of the state's Minority Business Enterprise Program to the authority and make technical corrections. So I'm moving to concur. Okay, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, that passes. House Bill 325, Adult Education High School Diploma by Examination Requirements and Study. The motion is to concur with the Senate amendments. The Senate amendment moves the effective date of the bill from October 1 to July 1, putting the bill in the same posture as the Senate cross-file as amended in the House. The motion is to concur. Second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the concurrence signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, thank you, that passes. We are going to vote once, tomorrow. I do not know what time, and we will have a back room probably in the morning. So once I know what time we're coming in tomorrow, we'll have a back room before we have session tomorrow. Delegate Long.
HB 1189, my memory started coming back. I remember what it was for lots that weren't being used, so I want to change my vote on that one and the Senate bill. If you look at the language, how they were both worded, it's different. That's what kind of threw me. The titles.
Okay.
So it's for vacant lots. I thought it was for nonprofits. So
Okay.
anyway, I'm good with it. So,
Delegate Young wore you down.
no, after I
That's right. Okay. Kelsey and Percy, did you all hear that? Okay, thank you. Are there any subcommittee announcements? None? Okay, so thank you very much, folks. Appreciate it.